So, all right, what is the date? I think it's the 29th. So, welcome to our team call. It's the 29th of August. And tonight we're going to be talking about Facebook Live. And we've actually done a team challenge before doing Facebook Live. I think it was just for a weekend once where we did a challenge. But, you know, it's kind of been a growing medium to share on social media. And I just thought that it would be good to kind of share some best practices on using Facebook Live, and just for all of us to kind of share maybe some of the types of videos, things like that have gotten the best traction, and just some tips and stuff that I've learned so far from doing Facebook Live. And also, I guess, like, one of the biggest things I want to get across to everybody that's on the call tonight and that watches the recording is not to be scared of Facebook Live, because I know some people get really nervous about it because of the realness of it and that kind of thing. And so I really want you guys to leave this call knowing that you can do a live video, you're going to survive, and that your audience is probably going to love you that much more from your videos. So first of all, let's just get started by if anybody wants to share if they've done, or actually Amber, we were talking about this before the call. So Amber just did her very first Facebook Live yesterday. So Amber, if you want to hop on and just kind of tell us about why you decided to do it and how it went.
Yeah. We were hiking and there was like this little pool with a waterfall, and it was so pretty. Then there was another waterfall down there, and then you looked out at like mountains and all that, and it was really pretty. And I actually had reception in the middle of the woods, which I don't have here. So I was like, well, I'll just do a quick video of it real quick, and just went on live. And like, I've been terrified of doing live, and that's just not me. And like, I did it without thinking about it. I think I was so excited about where I was that it didn't like matter that it was live. Mm-hmm. And I actually got from that video, and I've got likes and comments and all that. But it definitely was a great way to start conversations with people.
Cool. So you actually started some new conversations from a live video that you did that had nothing to do with health and fitness.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay, who else has just recently started implementing Facebook Live?
Hey, you guys. I have not, because I too am a big chicken, and like see it first. But I did when my silly jelly bracelets came in. I was just fired up, and that's when I did it, of all things. And I was, going on and on about how they'll be used and whatever. And I was at church the next week, and this lady came up, I want to see the bracelets in person. And then, luckily I was wearing them. And so that it was really cute, and people have commented since about the bracelets, and that was the only time I really talked about it. So they must have been, engaged in watching, but I'm still a big chicken. And I think I did one maybe making my Shakeology, but or something. But otherwise, that I'm always afraid I'm going to get interrupted because you never know.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I remember one of the very first live videos that I did it in my PS page, the coach or the Facebook group that I have set up just for like my personally sponsored coaches. And I forgot what the video was about, but I just remember that Mikey was in the background, and it was in my office, and he went into like the top drawer and like got scissors out. And so I was like torn between like, all right, do I like leave the computer and go get my kid that's running around with scissors? Or like, do I just pretend like I didn't notice? But I can't do that because it was on video. And then, so then like, I think it actually happened twice during the video. Like I got it back from him, and then he came back and like found another like bad item in my office. And so there was like a couple different like little interruptions that happened during the video. And then I almost hesitated to, like, I was going to delete the video because I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are going to think that I am crazy and like I'm the worst mom of the year and all these things. But I'm like, oh, I'm just going to post it, whatever. Like I need to move on with my day. And then like I got such positive feedback from my coaches because they were like, oh, I love the realness of that. You know, like that's real life. That's what happens when you have, you know, little kids running around. And like they really liked seeing me have those same interruptions and distractions and things that happen, you know, to everybody. So I think that those kind of things actually sometimes, while they may be a little frustrating in the moment, I think they actually end up being a good thing sometimes. So anyways, all right. So I have just some things that I wanted to share about with Facebook Live. And then after that, I want to talk about some different topic ideas. So basically, here's the thing with Facebook Live. The reason that people are talking about it so much is it's just the latest and greatest. And if we're building our business with social media, then that means we have to stay up to date on all things social media. Like it's one of those things where you have to look at this as a business and not just a hobby. And this is something that you need to educate yourself on. So just like if you were an accountant or whatever, like you'd educate yourself on the most recent tax codes. And if you were an attorney, then you know like the most recent statutes that came out about XYZ, or, you know, so this is the most recent thing that is really popular with social media. And that's why it's important to be on the forefront of using it. So also because it's like the popular thing right now, Facebook is really favoring the live video feeds. So most likely, like when you log on to your Facebook, you probably see those notifications in your own feed first before you see some other stuff. And like Facebook is just pushing it out into more news feeds than just a regular post or an uploaded video, and definitely more than just a post with nothing. So that's one of the first reasons why you just need to like get on board with it. And I think that, you know, people really enjoy like watching live video. I know for me, like I kind of got started watching live video mostly through Snapchat, like watching people snap stories. And those are only 10 seconds long, but I loved it because like you can get to see like a real snippet into other people's lives. And like especially some of the like celebrities that I follow on Snapchat, like Gary Vaynerchuk, and like I follow Kate Hudson, and hers is always like really interesting. Like yesterday I saw hers, and she had her mom. Well, her mom is what's her name? Oh, Goldie Hawn. And her mom was over, and she snapped, like she showed her mom, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like she looks just like she looks in movies. But it's just cool to like see that person's real life. And so the way that you have to look at it, or the way that I kind of made a little bit of a mindset shift for myself and what I share in my story, is that there's other people that are watching you that look at you as a like a mini celebrity in a way. And I think that there's been some other trainings about like how social media should be used as kind of like a reality show, like your own little reality show, you know, the Robin show, the Robin Ramblings show. And so you're just kind of sharing those highlights and that little glimpse into what your day actually looks like, including the craziness. And so, you know, like for me with Snapchat, you know, I try to be very intentional about sharing, like when Mikey is getting in the way of doing my workout, and when the dogs are like laying in the middle of my yoga mat, and, you know, when I come into the kitchen and there's a disaster, just like all those like real things that happen, so that people know that you're a real person. So that's kind of how I got introduced to live and how I started to enjoy it. And so then when Facebook came out with it, I guess I wasn't scared to start using it because I had already started with Snapchat. So I think it's cool because you can use it on your personal page, you can use it in Facebook groups, and you can also use it on in event pages and if you have a like page. So you can use it everywhere on Facebook. And I guess because people really like that personal touch of it, people engage more and have that interaction more so than if they just watched an old video of yours. And so it's people are commenting on a video while you're live and they're expecting you to engage back with them. So these are just, I have a couple tips I wrote down, 5 tips to kind of enhance your engagement on your live videos. So the first one, and after I tell you the first one, I want to get some feedback on if you guys have done this. So the first one is actually announcing your live video. So for me, sometimes in the morning, if I know I'm going to do my country heat workout, I'll take a picture either of myself drinking my Energize or just in my workout clothes and be country heat is about to go down in 15 minutes. I'm getting, I'm drinking my pre-workout and then I'm going to start my workout. I'm going to share some live footage shortly. So I'll let people know to be expecting to see that notification from me. And that's just a great way for them to know and be on the lookout. So who has tried letting people know ahead of time? Robin? Oh yeah, I saw yours on Friday. So have you experimented with announcing it beforehand and just going live with no announcement, and which do you think is better?
I definitely usually have a lot more feedback before if I announce it. I usually announce it about an hour. I usually try to at least 30 minutes to an hour, and I just have this little graphic that I use and that I change the wording on it, and I'll put a little blurb of what I'm going to be talking about or whatever. But I do find that I do have more of an audience that's actually live when I do announce.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you use a similar image every time that you're putting out a notification that you're going to be going live.
Yes.
So there's consistency in that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Who else? Has anyone else tried announcing that you're going to go live? No? Oh, who is that? Lori.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, I've tried it a couple of times, and I've had some people log on. I think maybe I announced it too early. I like how Robin said she does it an hour, maybe a half hour before. I the times that I've tried it, announced it at 8 in the morning, and I was tonight I'll be live. And at that point, nobody remembered what I said at 8 a.m. So I think next time I'm going to try what Robin said and maybe just do it an hour, half hour beforehand, and hopefully that will drive the traffic up on the video.
Yeah, cool. All right, so another thing that is pretty cool with announcing your video beforehand is, if you are running your business through a like page, you can actually do a sponsored post, promote your post about your upcoming live video. So, if you know that you're going to be doing it at a specific time, you can make your post and then, boost it. So then it gets into that many more people's newsfeed about your video that will be later that day or whatever it is. I personally have not done that with I've announced that I'm going to be going live, and I've tried it both ways, spur of the moment or, I'm going to, I said with the country heat example. And I guess I do notice more people hop on if I've announced it in some fashion beforehand. But like Robin said, it definitely has to be short term. because I have tried saying like, all right, make sure you come by my page tonight. I'm going to be doing a wine chat or whatever. And like that didn't go over that well. Okay, so the second tip is to prepare and practice. So just because you're doing this live and it's, Facebook Live, you're not supposed to like have a script that you're reading from or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that it has to be like totally spur of the moment, totally off the top of your head. Like you can have an actual idea and kind of an outline of what you want to talk about. So with preparing, first of all, one thing that's super important with Facebook Live is that you have a strong connection. So don't do it in that one space of your house where you're always like in and out of connection, because then your video goes in and out. And if it goes out, then people are going to be like, oh, well, they're just going to scroll on by. They're not going to sit and wait for you to figure it out. So make sure you're in a place with good connection. Also, second thing, make sure that you're in a spot with good lighting. Because just like, we talk about with social media posts, Instagram, things like that, people like clear pictures, something that looks bright and inviting. Like if you're in a dark, dingy, closet, it's just people are going to scroll by. They're not going to stay for long. And also be cognizant of like background noise. Sometimes like the strangest things like just come out really loud on video, where it's like in real life it wasn't that loud, and then when I hear it on my video I'm like, gosh, why did that background noise ended up sounding 10 times louder than my actual voice, and my voice is right here in front of the phone and the background noise is like 10 feet away. So I don't know why it does that. But, like the lawnmower, like if there's a person cutting the grass or something, like that noise is like amplified times 10. So just be careful of those kinds of things, because they can be very distracting. And, people's attention spans are so small. So even like the smallest little distraction, people will, cruise by. So think about those things as far as when and where, but then also have an idea of what you're going to say. I mean, sometimes like if you just have an idea that you want to talk about, that's fine. I mean, that's what live is for just kind of that impromptu thing. But also like you don't want to, totally go off the deep end of nonsense either. Like, you want to respect people's time if they're logging onto your video. The third one is to be personable. So that's the thing. That's why people connect so much. Hi.
I just had a point to put with that back thing you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
If you find that you get really nervous talking on video, a trick that I have suggested doing is get a Post-it note and write like the 3 things that you absolutely want to say while doing live. I mean, you can still go on your bunny trails, but at least you'll have it. And then you stick it on your phone so that your eyes are still forward and you're still looks like you're talking to people, but you have that little cheat sheet right in front of you. Because it's small enough they'll go over wherever. And you can even hide your own face if you don't like looking at yourself. While I don't like looking at myself on camera at all. So like sometimes if I'm like really super nervous, I'll just stick the Post-it note over my face so I don't have to watch myself. But then I don't tend to do as many bunny trails, and I'll actually remember to talk about what I wanted to talk about in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, that's good advice. I remember when I was like maybe one of the first times that I ever presented like on a team call. And it was funny. We were actually talking about different team call platforms before the call started. But back in the day, we used to use this thing called Instant Presenter. And nobody else was on video, just the person presenting. And there was like a tip given to put a Post-it note like over the camera right there, so that you didn't see yourself on the thing and nobody else saw you either. But it does. I'm sure that does help. So if you like don't like seeing yourself, and then you can just say what you need to say. Okay, so being personable, this is where you're going to build that connection with people. And people can always sense when you're being real or when you're trying to be somebody else. And I'm sure that you guys can think of many examples of people that you've come across in social media land, where maybe even like some of your own friends, where you'll see like a post from them and you're like, that doesn't sound like something my friend would say. Or, you can just tell when people are not being authentic. So this is definitely a platform where you need to be personable and just be yourself. Remember to smile. I think that is one reason why I do like to see myself. And I have to remind myself, because I don't think I'm a naturally smiley person, but when I'm looking at myself, like, I'm like, oh, I better smile so people don't think that I'm like mad or something. So remember to smile. And one thing that you can do to boost engagement with this is to like let your audience know what they can expect from you. Like, especially today on a Monday, if you were to have done a video today, you can say like, and just to let you guys know, I'm going to be going live every day this week, at 8 a.m. to share, tips about my meal prep or whatever, but just kind of giving them a heads up on what they can expect to see from you and putting it in that week dose. You don't have to tell them everything you're going to talk about or exactly what your live schedule is going to be, but just kind of giving them some kind of a snippet of like, hey, I'm going to be going live every day this week, or I'm going to be going live today and Friday night, or, that doesn't take the place of like the announcement part that we talked about earlier, but it just kind of keeps your audience informed that are currently on your live video. And then let's see, number 4. So after, the cool thing about live is that it actually, you can save it to your phone. So if you did like, sometimes I'll do a video and I'm like, that was a really good one, and I save it to my phone so I can put it on my YouTube channel. Or other ones, they're way too random for me to put on my YouTube. But anyway, so you can save it onto your phone. But either way, once you post it onto Facebook, it actually saves it into your video album. Or if you did it like in a group, it gets saved into the groups album. So another way to like boost engagement on that video, because sometimes like maybe you'll only have like 20 views that were live, but then because that video is still there and it gets saved and people can go back and watch it and people can share it after the fact, more views will happen and more comments and engagement will happen like after you've already finished being live. So one way to kind of boost that aspect of your video is to go back and comment on the comments, and then also make your own comment just thanking the viewers. Like, even if there was no comments on your video, post a comment of your own thanking all the live viewers for being on your video. So then they'll get notifications and it'll go into the newsfeed and stuff again. So it just kind of brings it back into Facebook land for a little bit more time. And then the last thing is to review the metrics and the analytics. So you can actually go in and look at like how many people viewed your video. You can see like how long they stayed on, or like which part of your video you had the most viewers during, and those kind of things. And I personally haven't looked too much into it, but I know that it's there, and it's something like if I'm going to be implementing Facebook Live as a part of my regular social media routine, then it's going to help you to be able to learn like, all right, my videos that I do at 8 a.m. get far more reach than my videos that I do at lunchtime, those kind of things. So that's how you're going to find out like when your audience is engaging more. And also like maybe if you're doing like shorter videos and you see that people are staying on the full 3 minutes, but then you try doing some longer videos and you see that they're falling off around the 3 or 4 minute mark. So that's going to clue you in to know like, all right, my people just don't have the attention span to watch me for 10 minutes. So I need to keep it short and concise, or that kind of thing. Or if maybe they are watching for the full time, then that will clue you into, all right, maybe I can take this a little bit longer, show them a little bit more, add a little more detail and a little more value. So those are just some tips to kind of boost engagement on your live feed. There was a quote that Shalene posted specific to Facebook Live. She says, "Be brief, be bright, and be gone." So I thought that was pretty relevant to Facebook Live. And I have a list of video topics that I'm going to post that I got from another coach that I know through Scotty's team. And some of you actually may be participating in her Facebook Live challenge that's happening for September. But I just wanted to kind of open it up for a little discussion on like maybe some topics that you've done that have been great for engagement or not, or just some ideas that you've used so far for Facebook Live.
I just have a question for those of you who are using Facebook Live, because I'm also chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it once. When is the best time? When are you seeing the most participation in your live videos?
I would say when I've gone live, I would say the best time has been in the evening, because that's usually like around 8 o'clock. So if I'm going to do a live video, that's going to be my evening post usually.
Okay.
I just don't, because I feel like in the morning or in the afternoon, most people are at work. So it's easier for them to just kind of read a post as opposed to watch a live video.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You can also check on your Facebook specs, and it'll actually tell you when you get the most volume of people to your like page itself, and then base your posts around like then. So like for me, my high points in the day are between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning, 11 and 1, and like 6 to 9. So if I'm doing a live video at 3, more than likely most of those people aren't going to see it. So if you go to your actual page, and there's a thing that you can look at the demographics, I think it's called, and it tells you when people are actually looking at your posts and whatnot. I actually schedule any ads that I'm doing as well during those. You can specifically have your